All right, so that's how clubs and discotheques would look like for some time to come in the aftermath of the coronavirus pandemic. Meanwhile, thousands of people joined the Black Lives Matter protest in the United Kingdom. Demonstrators, in fact, turned violent in London as protesters clashed with the police. Glass bottles, traffic cones and crackers were thrown at lines of police along the Whitehall and also at the Parliament Square. Now, one person was arrested after protesters clashed with the police outside of the Foreign Office. And demonstrations took place in front of the US Embassy as well. Remember, the Black Lives Matter protest began after an unarmed African-American man, George Floyd, was killed by the police in the US city of Minneapolis. But the attack on the police prompted a harsh reaction from Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who said that the protests have been subverted by thuggery. This, of course, was the tweet that he put out, saying that at no point of time the protest should turn violent and those responsible will be held to account. And massive protests also took place in Glasgow, where thousands of people demanded an immediate end to racism.
You gotta operate the easy way.
And also British Home Secretary Priti Patel has said that the protest should stop due to the violence as well as the coronavirus pandemic.
I ask again, as I did yesterday, for people to not protest, to follow the rules that are in place, because those rules are there and they are designed to protect the NHS and save lives. And quite frankly, the appalling levels of violence that we saw yesterday are unacceptable. I'm pretty certain that the British public would agree with me that what we saw was completely wrong. It is shameful. And quite frankly, that is why these protests should stop and they should not go ahead, and people must be mindful and stick with the rules that have been put in place.
Meanwhile, protesters in London also vandalised certain properties that they associated with racism. This included the statue of the former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. The Churchill's legacy has been marred by his white supremacist views and also the 1943 Bengal famine. And in Bristol, anti-racism protesters threw the statue of the 17th century slave trader Edward Colson into a river.